Hello, and welcome to the first video in a series of tutorials I'm putting together for Open Computer Vision, or opencv. My name is Tony Muilenburg. I'm a PhD student at Portland State University and currently working on machine learning. There are some other tutorials that have been put together for opencv, not a lot I have found, and I wanted to put together some more complete tutorials, more step-by-step as well. So I want to start by showing you an example program. This one's fairly simple. I have a blue and a green colored circles on a piece of paper here, and you can see that the program does a pretty good job of tracking them. The X and Y coordinates and the difference in position are shown in the debug window here. And you can see the threshold images for blue and green on the right. If I turn it vertical, and there's no noise in the background, it should be able to track the two pretty well. One other thing you can see here using these track bars is you can change the filter settings for what it's looking for. So now that I've removed the filter for those frequency of colors, I can see myself in the threshold images as well. So I'll close down that one real quick. So one of the really good tutorials is written by Kyle Hanslow. You can find it on YouTube. Basically it goes through and it talks about the setup of the environment. So you're going to need to download and extract the opencv files. I put mine on c:\opencv. Install Visual Studio. I'm using Visual Studio 2010, but you can use a newer version if you would like. There are also free versions of this where you can use it for a few months. You need to set up some path environmental variables, which he talks about in that video, and link to some include files and DLLs. I'll show that briefly. You'll also need a video camera connected and drivers installed. So if we go to Visual Studio and open a project, I created one called Sandbox by coming to New Project, and within Visual C++, select Win32 console application, give it a name, and then click OK. You'll need to go and enter in that you want an empty project as well, so it doesn't create a bunch of other files. Once that's done, you'll come to the property manager here. If it's not available, you can come up to the view window and go to other windows and property manager. It will bring that up for you, or it may be down at the bottom in a list here for you. And then you'll basically expand down to the debug folder, right click on this and add a new property sheet. So Kyle's video will walk you through that. In here basically in the link or input you'll add the library files that are needed. There are a couple other locations like this general button and up above where you'll point to some include files. So once you have that all set up, we can start into a very simple program to display video. So I'm going to start by including opencv, and you'll know you have your directory set up properly if opencv comes up with IntelliSense here. /HiGUI. That's the only library we will need today. HiGUI.h. To simplify some typing, we'll type out using namespace CV. Then you can create your main function, void main, parentheses, and some curly brackets. So now within our main function, we're going to set up a matrix to store pixels from an image to. So you can type in here mat. I call it my image, or you can call it whatever you want. And then we'll declare another variable for video capture. Call it my capture. And then just similar to opening a file or something of that nature, you can open that now. So my capture.open, and then in here we'll type out the device we want to point to. If If you have two devices, you would be able to point to 0 and 1, and we'll do that in a later tutorial. Now we want to basically loop through, grab an image, and display it to the screen in a window. So you can use a while loop and say while 1, or you can use a for loop and just leave it empty with the semicolons. Create the curly brackets here. Then within the for loop, we'll want to take my capture and put it into our image matrix variable. Then we can do an IMShow, which will pop up a window, and we'll give it a name here, like my window. And then the image that you want to show here, which is my image. So we're basically going to go through and do this over and over and over again. Grab the image from our capture and then show it to a window. We want to have a little bit of a delay here so that we'll actually be able to see it happen. So we'll put in here wait key and just a delay of 10. And that should be all we need for our simple program. So we can push the green run button here. And there's the video capture. So that's it for this tutorial.